It's a bit testy. So that's the first slip stitch, but here's what's going to be different. I'm going to go into the next stitch. I'm going to pull through, but I'm not going to resolve it. I'm going to go into the following stitch. I'm going to, whoops, make sure I get all of that. I'm going to pull through. I'm not going to resolve it. Then I'm going to go into the fourth stitch, which is actually right there. I'm going to pull through. So you can see that I have 4 loops on my hook. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a Tunisian technique to create our strap. I just want to make sure that it is somewhat even. Looks about right. Okay, so we're going to use this technique. So we're going to yarn over. You're going to pull through the first one only. Then you'll yarn over and pull through the next 2. You'll yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over and pull through the last 2. So you've got something that looks a bit like this. I know it looks weird. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we are going to go into this stitch here. Oops, sorry. Now we're going to go into the bottom of the stitch we just looped through, yarn over and pull through the bottom of the previous stitch, so it's actually kind of the side, pull through 3 loops, and into the very last stitch there, pull through. So you're pulling into the loops that you're creating. Okay, and you always want to make sure that when you work this way, you always end up with 4 loops on your hook. Okay, and then make your way back. You will yarn over, pull through 1 only at the beginning. Then you yarn over and pull through the next 2. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. Yarn over and pull through the following 2. Okay, so this is how we're going to create our strap. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. I know it still doesn't look like much, but so you've got 1 loop on your hook. You will go into the bottom, the side loop of the previous loop you just pulled through. Pull through, keep them relaxed. You will go into the side of the previous loop from there. Pull through. And you will go into the top of that chain 1 that you did before and pull through. Okay, again, 4 loops on your hook. I think now you can see it's starting to take on a pattern here. You'll yarn over, pull through the first one on its own only. Then yarn over and pull through the next 2. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, and yarn over and pull through the final 2. So now you can see it's definitely starting to take on form. So this is going to be our strap. Okay, you're going to continue on this way for as long as you would like your strap to be. Okay, so I'm going to do it one more time with you because I know this is different. It's a little bit unusual from what we're used to. Okay, so so this is the loop. These are the chains coming up the side. You work into the one next to it. Okay, see, that's the side. Yarn over, pull through. Then you go into the next one to there. Yarn over, pull through. And then we go into that chain 1 that you did at the end there. Yarn over, pull through. See, always 4 loops on the hook. Okay. Then you will yarn over, only pull through the first one at the beginning. We'll yarn over and pull through the next 2. Yarn over, pull through the next 2. and yarn over and pull through the next two. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, guys, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to set you off. And once you have the length of chain that you are happy with, I will meet you here again. Okay, guys, we're coming into the home stretch here. So I have finished my strap, and it looks something like this. And mine measures 26 inches. Now, I want you to keep in mind, see that? There is a bit of a give. So it's probably going to stretch maybe even to 28 inches at some point. So if you like your strap a little shorter, then I would do a few inches less so that through wear and tear, it is going to, see, it's got some give to it. And you may find this a little thin for this type of bag. I plan on doing a slip stitch edging around each side that will thicken it up a bit later. But so we finished that one side. We've now got our strap, and we're working our way over to the other side. And this is where things will get interesting. So what you want to do is you want to sit your bag flat so the closure is sitting there together. You can see that I've pinned this end here. So how I evened it out is I made sure to pinch my end together. And again, this may not be like a perfect exact science, but this will do the trick. So make sure you pinch it in where the one side of the bag is. And then you're just going to follow along the edge here. And you can even match it stitch per stitch if you like, but I can already see that my eyelets started shifting as I went along. And when I came to the end here, I could see that my rounded edge matched perfectly on that side. So I just pinned these two edges together so I knew where to begin. So what we're going to do now is we're going to attach our strap and then continue to close off the other side exactly how we did it with the first side. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust here. So what we want to do first of all is make sure that our strap is not twisted. Okay, so I'm going to start from here. I'm just going to go along, make sure that it's nice and easy here, nice and even. Okay, and so now I want to get up to where I've pinned my two sides together. I'm just going to keep that in there for a minute. So because I've got 4 stitches that I'm going to work into here, we've got the one stitch here centered. This is what's going to cinch in that side. But I actually want to start working a little further in from there. So I'm just going to pick up one of these stitches here, and wherever you feel is going to give you some sturdiness, and I feel like it's going to be this stitch right here. I'm going to poke it through. And so what I want to do is I want to slip stitch my strap to that. And again, this part is very fiddly because nothing is really solidified yet. So you want to just really kind of maneuver, be patient when you're pulling that through. There's a lot of threads and yarns you're working with. There we go. So that's the first slip stitch. Now what I want to do is I actually want to go into this stitch where the pin is. And I'm actually going to, so first I'm going to go into, I'm going to use this side stitch as well as the top stitch here. This is the next stitch across the top. And I like doing things like that to really solidify the connection. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into that stitch there, and I'm going to slip stitch. And I'm going to keep that pin there the whole time. So remember, I'm going to pull it through that first one. Now I want to pull it through my strap, and I'm going to pull it through there. So definitely, yeah, I'm happy with that. That's going to really solidify itself there. Now I'm going to go into the next stitch of my strap. So I'm going to go into that side one first and then the top stitch there. Okay. Now I'm going to go into the other stitch where the pin is, and I'm going to slip stitch through there, through the strap, and through there. Okay. So you can see, yeah. And at this point, if you want, you can take that pin out so that it's out of the way. Hopefully I didn't get it stuck in there. Oops. There we go. Okay, and then we've got one more stitch on the other side. So at the very end of the strap, just want to find, I like to find one with 2 loops. So I'm going to take that one right there. Okay, and now I'm going to go into the very next stitch beside it, a little further in like I did with the other side, and I'm going to just slip stitch through there, then bring it through my strap and through my last loop. Okay, so if I pull that up a bit, you should be able to see that my strap has been, see that? That feels pretty good to me. Okay guys, so now we are off to the races with closing off our other side here. So just like we had done in the previous end, we are now going to decrease 1 into every 3rd stitch. Okay, so to begin, I will do a chain 2, 1, 2. I'm going to go right into, see that? You got to be careful. I pulled up an extra little stitch there. I'm going to go right into the one next to it. And that for me on this side, I'm just going to count this as 1. I'm not going to worry about the chain 2. And I change my mind here and there depending on how snug I want things to be. Sometimes I would count that as a stitch. In a case like this, I'm not going to. So I'm going to do another half double. So that's 1, 2, and now into the 3rd stitch, I'm going to decrease. That means I'm going to go through the 1st, yarn over, go through the 2nd, and pull through. Okay, and you should definitely know the drill by now. We've done decreases enough times on this project. So I'm going to set you off. So it's a half double crochet into the first 2 stitches, decrease every 3rd. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end when you've done that. And it's taken me right to my handle here. So now you can really see where the starting point is. So I just did my last decrease, 2 individual half double crochets, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually slip stitch So I've done my 2 half double crochets and it's taken me to the handle here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the next 2 stitches together, which is, one is right there, and these are going to be a little bit snug because of the fact that we slip stitched. And another one is right there. I'm going to pull all of these together, and now I'm going to slip stitch. Remember I said that chain 2 isn't going to count. We're going to go to the top of that next stitch, and we're going to slip stitch that to there, and that solidifies our round off. So now you can see our strap is there, and now we're going to continue working in the round. So you can see our side is getting closed off. Okay, so now we just continue on just like we did in the other side. We will chain 1 this time, and the reason why is because I'm going to stitch right back into the base of that same stitch. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 half double crochet, And now I'm going to decrease into every second stitch. Oops. Now I'm going to decrease into every second stitch. So that's 1 half double crochet, and then the next one is a decrease. But you guys knew that already because you know the drill. 1 and a decrease. Okay guys, meet you at the end of this row. So I decreased in every stitch, and now I'm going to go ahead and do another round of decreasing every stitch. And I'm going to do this with you because it's going to cinch up pretty quickly. So I'm not even going to worry about that slip stitch. I'm just going to go right away into that next stitch, and then the next stitch, and it's really going to start getting testy because the opening is closing up there. Okay, so then I find, oops, the next stitch and the next stitch there. Pull through all of them. Okay, so you can see it's really cinching up, and I think I'm going to do one more decrease here. Next one and next one. And yeah, I'm going to leave that, and I'm going to show you guys why. So I'm going to take my hook out, and now I'm just going to leave a long-ish tail. Okay, so I don't know, about 16 inches. I always like to have extra than not enough. So what I want to do is I actually want to pull that through like we're going to fasten off, not too tightly. And then what I want to do is I'm going to feed it to the inside, and then I'm going to grab a darning needle so you can see that opening there, and then I'm just going to finish cinching it off there. Okay, so I'm just going to thread my yarn, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to find my way back here. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to weave my needle in between these stitches here. I'm just going to right around that opening, just in and out, and in and out. And you can pick up the loops as you like. And see, and then I'm just gently cinching it in because I don't want it to be too obvious where it is. See, actually, I'm really happy with that. See, so it blends in nicely. If I were to pull it really tight, it's going to pucker. Okay, so now that I'm happy with how it's cinched in, I'm just going to weave this in and out, and partly for some solidification, and partly just to hide in my ends. And you want to go back and forth, and you want to hide that tail. You want to kind of maybe sometimes go backwards in the same one so that it creates a bit of a knot, and you're off to the races. So some of you might have already snipped off by now. I like to just have a lot of give so that I know I'm really solidifying my bag. So you would just continue going on from there. So I'm not going to bore you guys with the rest of the details, but I'm going to go ahead and finish cinching this up, and then I will show you the final bag. And here you guys go. Here is the final bag using the Alpine stitch. I think it looks fantastic. So the actual basic structure is done. You can see that my strap is hanging up nicely. I just put some balls of yarn in there to give it some shape. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to add a few little embellishments here. So that's the reason why I made these eyelets here. So we're going to thread in a little embellishment here. We're going to add a couple little things at the end. But first and foremost, technically the bag is done. But I know many of you, like me, would like a little extra solidification on the strap. And I could have actually done this strap using 6 stitches or 7 stitches, but I always like adding a little finishing touch around the edges. So what we're going to do here is on either side of our strap and our opening, we're going to solidify with a slip stitch. And for this, I'm just going to continue on using the Bernat Home Deck yarn alone. So you can start in any edge that you like. So I'm going to start probably on this side here. You're going to start with a slip knot. Okay. And you're just going to slip stitch in here to begin, somewhere around a nice snuggled corner. You're going to pull through and secure. And we can weave that in later. And now you're simply actually I should have started along here. Let me do that again. You can start anywhere you like, but just to show you how I'm going to go up the side of the strap, I'm going to start in a corner here. So in this case, I'm going to start snuggled up right next to where the strap meets the bag. I'm going to slip stitch to join. We can weave that tail in later. And now I'm going to slip stitch into the side stitches of this bag. Okay, so I just pull it through and go through. Now, on one of these sides, the stitches are a little bit looser than on the other, which is this side in particular. Okay, so what I'm going to try to make sure that I do is not only that I go through that one loop, but I really want to try and catch a loop in the back. And I'm all about fortification, so I feel like as long as I have 2 loops, it always works out nicely. So then I will go into the next loop, which is right here, and maybe pick one up from the back as well and slip stitch. Okay, into the next one, into the back, and there, and slip stitch. So you can see it's adding this really cool extra texture, and you can do several rows of these just to give you more thickness. So you might do a couple of rounds on each side. I'm going to leave that up to you, and then you are done. Voila! And as you can see here, the slip stitch edge really just made a nice little finishing touch there. And then through the eyelets, I had this really nice fabric ribbon that had been part of a gift that someone had given me, and the color worked perfectly. So I just threaded in through the eyelets and tied a bow at the end, which made for a great little embellishment. And as you can see, the straps worked out lovely, and I love the texture of the Alpine stitch. It's just absolutely gorgeous. So I can also take that ribbon that I put through the eyelets, and if I want to, I can actually just pull on it and cinch the top shut. So it just makes it for easy access to get in and out of the bag. But I am very happy with how this turned out. I know it was a bit of a longer project, but I'm really excited. It makes for a great spring or summer bag, very boho style as well. And I hope you've enjoyed working on it as well. So you may have some questions about this bag. I know it was a bit of an intensive project in the sense that there was a lot of little details. So please do leave me any questions you have in the comment box down below, or you can just email me directly at info@crochetcrafty.com. You can always also find me on Instagram at The Stitch Sessions. And I love it when you tag me on your projects, because I'm always curious to see how my designs are interpreted by others, and also I'm curious to see what kind of colorways and textures you guys chose for your project. So on that note, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you like these videos and would like to see more like this, please give me a thumbs up. This helps me know that I'm giving you the type of content that you would like to see with regards to projects. And if you haven't pressed that subscribe button, you know what to do. This will keep you up to date every time I upload a new tutorial, which is every Wednesday morning. And every now and again, I will upload a few extras throughout the week, especially one of our crochet quick chats. So don't miss out on that. And of course, we've got a newsletter happening. We also have live interactive crochet lessons happening online, all kinds of cool things. And you can find that over on our website at crochetcrafty.com. All right, guys. So I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Remember, have an amazing day. Happy crocheting and take good care.